Hey guys, welcome to Brian's Man Cave. So for today's episode, I'm doing another 1 versus 2. And that's where I take the first game and compare it to the sequel. The second game, or whatever they call it, the Volume 2. Or I'm going to try and stick with 1 and 2. I don't know, maybe expanding into 3, 4. Not many games have that. I mean, some of the more modern games do. But a lot of the older ones really only went to like part 2. So I decided on this one to do River Raid because I finally got my hands on a copy of River Raid 2. And I had this when I was a kid. I loved this game. It was amazing when I first got it because I didn't even know it existed. And my friend bought it for me. I guess it was, just came out around that time. It says for the Atari 2600 and the Atari 7800 in 2600 mode. Just so, I guess this came out around the time when the 7800 came out, or after I should say, and they wanted to ensure people that this would work on their Atari 7800 Pro system, which it does. So, keep in mind it's the same game. It's not going to change the graphics, the sound, nothing. It's the same game. I mean, they're just telling you on the whatever. But anyways, yeah. So I'm going to look at River Raid 1, and I did River Raid before. I probably showed River Raid a couple times. And I did a comparison video where I played River Raid. I compared it with the ColecoVision River Raid and the Commodore 64. So this one is actually comparing it with the second one, which is a pretty decent game, actually. So first I'll take out River Raid and take that for a spin, and then I'll follow it up with River Raid 2. Okay, so let's start off with River Raid 1 on the Atari 2600. Let's just give this a reset. There we are. I know I always try to speed up too much. I think you got to get to that right pace. You always got to watch the bridge. You don't want to run into the bridge. And the other thing you always have to keep in mind is getting those fuel areas. Whoa. Try not to shoot them. Shooting them is bad. I don't know if this game would be easier on a gamepad versus a standard Atari joystick. I mean, I typically use the Atari joystick when I played almost everything on the Atari. But some games might just be better with the gamepad. This might be one of them. I don't know. This should be something to experiment with. Oh, this is hard because you gotta watch. You can't go over the. Oh, you can't touch the green. It'll blow up. Oh, I missed the side with the. I missed the side with all the fuel. It's very important. Okay. Oh, just getting blown up by everything. Of course, they put all the hard stuff here because that's where the fuel is, right? Like that airplane. Just gotta shoot him as soon as he comes near you. Crazy. There we go. And it's a hard right. I think I'm out of lives, so whenever I die on this one, I'm gonna be out. I mean, I said this before, but this is a pretty cool game, and I think the graphics are spot on. For Atari 2600, this is a really nice looking game. And even when I did the comparison, I mean, a lot of the graphics weren't that much different on the other systems. But I mean, it's not a bad game. I really enjoy this game. Okay, now we got River Raid 2 on the Atari 2600. Both are Atari 2600 games. So, as you can see right now, you're starting off on an aircraft carrier, which is different right off the bat. And your ship is gray. So, now I know with this one, you actually have to thrust, push back, hold down the button, and then you have to release. And now you actually, whoa. you actually could shoot ahead of you. Oh, I'm losing really bad here. You shoot ahead of you, but you could also shoot downwards to blow up stuff underneath you, like those aircraft carriers. It's the only way to get them, because otherwise, you know, you're up in the air. So it's slightly different, you know, design as far as, you know, adding a depth to this, adding a dimension to it, I want to say. You don't just have the X and Y, you now have the Z axis. Just something to think about. Also, your altitude. But now you end up in this area, which is similar. I think I was supposed to shoot that thing. I think that was the fuel. Doing terrible here. Let's try that again. See, I'm so out of practice with this game because it was so long since I've owned it. And I used to play this a lot. Whoa. I mean, I really enjoyed this game when I first got it as a, you know, as a birthday present from my friend. It's one of the games that I played quite a bit. I remember when I first started playing it, I thought this was going to be the whole game. It's just going to be over top of water. And I'm like, so there's no scenery? And then I realized, oh, wait. Now it goes into that section. It looks like River Raid 1. But now you can go over top of the green. Because you actually have an altitude. It didn't make any sense in River Raid 1 that, you know, you couldn't fly over these, you know, areas here. Like, you're supposed to be a plane, are you not? Running out of gas. Running out of gas. There. Okay. I swear. Whoa! Just blew myself up again. Yeah, I'm totally out of practice on this game. Oh, I think you're supposed to go over the fuel at a different altitude. Maybe that was what my problem was. See, I'm like flying up higher, and then I'm flying lower. So I think the higher up you go, the faster you go. Trying to remember how these work. I swear that was the fuel. Oh, maybe I'm supposed to blow it up like that. I don't know why they decided to get rid of the you know, the way the fuel gauges worked in the other one. You just kind of run over those, and I just go blow it up. Let's just reset the game now. Try this one more time. Sometimes I just try and shoot everything that's in front of me. But other times it's just like, get away from it. I don't believe you can get any fuel out here. I don't... Oh, I just ran into that thing. Now, obviously, when I owned this a long time ago, I actually had the manual for it. But this is a different copy. I lost my original copy, which was a sad state of affairs. I had the box and everything. So this is just the cartridge, but whatever. It's still the game. Almost made it through. I find this one to be a little bit harder. Uh-oh. Yeah, so, I mean, River Raid is always going to be a classic. I mean, it's Activision. This was one of the better games that was out for the system at the time. You know, Activision usually did have the better games. And there's nothing wrong with this game. I still like playing this game. It's one of those games that even, you know, you play it on emulators every once in a while. Pretty much every flashback system, I think, should have this game on there. This is like a must-have Atari cartridge for anybody who still has their original 2600 or still loves Atari. But I think that this one is quite interesting in the way it operates. I mean, it feels like a River Raid game, but they added more to it. They added the they added the altitude piece to it. They added the second firing method. Just more of a challenge. I think graphically, though, I mean, they're very similar. I found this one to be a little bit more dull as far as, the design of it. I like the River Raid one, how the way they sculpt the land masses and stuff, how you had to kind of follow around it. Whereas in this one, because it's not an issue anymore, you literally fly over it. It didn't seem like they put too much into it. Now, maybe because I didn't get far enough. I mean, I was losing pretty badly on this one, and it just shows how out of practice. I mean, I literally just picked this up a few weeks ago, where I haven't had it in my collection forever. I mean, that's that same story I've probably said a few times now, where I moved from one house to another, and a whole box of boxed video games got lost, fell off the truck. I don't know what the heck happened to it. It's gone. And I had my original River Raid 2 in the box with the manual and everything, gone. So I was lucky to pick this one up finally. I mean, it's not cheap. I've seen a lot of places trying to sell it for like $30, $40. Some places a little over $20. And a lot of it's on eBay or wherever, and you're paying shipping and all that other crap. And I'm in Canada, so then I'm paying the American version, and it's more money. And it took a long time for me to actually get a copy of this at a decent price. River Raid's common, so usually you'll come across River Raid in any store that sells Atari stuff. I mean, if they still sell the old 2600 games, you'll probably find it. And I think it's a must-add to any collection. You should have River Raid. If you can get your hands on it, I would really suggest it. But as you can see, I mean, the skill levels are different. I felt that this one actually was a little more tricky. You have to master getting off that runway, or else you'll just go right into the right into the water or whatever. You just literally crash if you don't do it properly in the beginning. But ultimately, pretty cool game. I really enjoy it, and I actually enjoy both of them. So I wouldn't say one is really better than the other. Anyways, that's it for River Raid. I know I'm going to have a couple more of these videos for sure. I definitely have Frogger back there, and Frogger 2, so that'll be fun. And I think I have another one that I just can't think of right now. Anyways, hope you liked the video. Let me know what you think of River Raid and River Raid 2. Have you played them both? Which one did you like better? Which one do you think is a better game? And, just leave some comments below. Hope you subscribe to my channel. Talk to you later.